I just took a flight to see my girlfriend, but the plane went through a time tunnel and flew for 23 years. I stared blankly at the police on the other side and asked, is it really 2026 now? Yes, sir. It's May 1st, 2026. The police's siren has just sounded. My strength seemed to be sucked out of me in an instant. I could only bite my thumb and listen to the suppressing emotions of the about to collapse. The police said, "We'll help you contact your family now." I whispered and took out my ID card from my bag and handed it over. He entered the computer and slowly looked up. "Your ID card has been cancelled. This is usually the case after a relative applies for death." I opened my eyes in an instant. Tears rolled down my eyes. It's hard to believe to ask, how did you apply for death? Generally, missing for 5 years. Relatives can apply for death. He comforted me personally. This is just a normal procedure. It doesn't mean anything. I sucked my nose hard. I nodded heavily. Do you remember what contact phone? The police asked. I nodded in a hurry. Yes, yes, yes. I remember my seat and my mother's cell phone number clearly. I quickly called out a series of numbers at home. There was only a cold voice in the hall. That voice pierced my heart like a needle. I was shaking all over. By the way, there was my wife's phone. I was eager to take a deep breath. I raised my head with the last hope. I carefully called out Yunyan's cell phone number. I stared at the police and pressed the number. I listened to the voice in the hall. I even forgot to breathe. Please, you must answer. After a few beeps, the phone still didn't answer. I was desperate. Tears finally fell. Hello. A cold girl suddenly came over the phone. I raised my tear-soaked face. I looked at her ears carefully. We only talked for an hour last night. But at this moment, I can't tell if that person is Yunyan. Hello. The police were also a little excited. This is the only phone call he made tonight. Is it Miss Yunyan? I am. After hearing this affirmative answer, I finally got over it. Hello, Ms. Yu. We are the police station. Your husband, Mr. Qixia, is waiting for you in the infirmary. There was a long silence on the phone. Then I couldn't help but ask, what did you say? The police had to repeat it again and reported the address to urge him to come and pick her up as soon as possible. He sounded calm on the phone. The police also let go and smiled kindly at me. Congratulations. You are the first to contact your family. Thank you. Thank you. I said thank you in a row. After saying thank you, I rubbed my pants nervously and waited anxiously at the door of the meeting room. I found my family. I don't know how long it took. The sound of the elevator bell stopped on the 5th floor. After a group of people came out, a tall figure followed at the end. He walked very quickly and passed by my side. He didn't notice me being squeezed to the side at all. I had to follow behind him. It felt like I didn't dare to confirm. The woman in the black professional suit with a high-profile back and a momentary look away. Could it be Yunyan? Hello, police officer. I'm looking for Qixia. Qixia. The police officer was impressed by the only passenger who found his family. He raised his head and raised his chin at the door. Yes. Isn't that behind you? The woman tightened her fist and seemed to take a deep breath before slowly turning around and looking straight at the door. When I finally saw his face, I stayed still. The clear Yunyanin in my memory suddenly became blurry at the moment I saw him. Is this Yunyanin? The young girl Yunyanin never wears glasses and is full of sunshine. The woman in front of her wears gold-plated glasses and is precious and calm. The young girl Yunyanin likes to wear loose clothes like a little sun. The bottom of her eyes is a soft starlight and full of vitality. The woman in front of her is dressed in a professional suit. Her temperament is sharp and makes people afraid to approach her. She is elegant and indifferent. I walked towards her footsteps and stood still and watched her. This journey through time and space is like a long dream. When I woke up, everything was different. 23 years. In my heart, the woman in front of me is my wife. Suddenly, my wife Yunyanin was standing in front of me, but I didn't dare to approach her. Waiting for her for nearly 2 hours, I imagined countless scenes. I will rush into her arms and cry. Or I will blame her for being late. But when I saw her, all my emotions turned into endless emptiness and helplessness. Is this Qixia? I didn't expect Yunyanin to open his mouth first. There is a hint of uncertainty. Hey. I answered and shyly avoided his sight. I raised my hand and said hello. Yunyanin just looked at me. It's scary to be calm. The air seems to be frozen. Fortunately, the police next to me broke the suffocating atmosphere in time. The police I just felt like a letter B with wings. It was as if the angel Yunyanin took his special car to save me who had been lost for many years. Get in the car. Yunyanin opened the door for me elegantly. I was stunned for a moment. Yunyanin in front of me was wearing a professional suit and opened the door for me. He acted elegantly and showed the charm of a mature woman. He was the one in my memory wearing a borrowed dress who needed me to change my size overnight. He was a green girl who was 2 years younger than me. At that time, he hugged my face and kissed me several times. He praised me for my cleverness. Now looking at him wearing such an expensive professional suit, I bit my lips silently. I was in a different state of mind. After a long silence, Yunyanin also sat in the car. When the door of the car was closed, the awkwardness and the sense of distance were filled in the closed space. I rubbed my left hand uneasily. He looked at me through the curtain. He was very familiar with this little action. Sometimes, he always felt that my cute action was not good and he would hold my hand tightly. Do you really only feel that 10 hours have passed? Yunyanin finally asked the question in his heart. I nodded hard. This morning, my parents just sent me out. By the way, Yunyanin, do you still have contact with my parents? Yunyanin looked at me and frowned. What's wrong with your parents? What's wrong? My heart instantly raised my throat. I was terrified. I was afraid to hear any bad news. Yunyanin looked at me deeply. Slowly opened his mouth. I haven't contacted them for a long time. No contact. I was shocked to see him. I didn't expect this answer at all. My parents liked him so much back then. Yesterday, my mother gave me back the sausage and asked me to bring it to him. How could I not contact him? Oh, that's right. It's been 24 years. He may have been at home for a long time. How could he contact his ex-husband's parents? Yunyanin was tight-lipped. He only said 2 words in silence. I'm sorry. I pulled out a smile that was worse than crying. My eyes turned red in an instant. It's okay. It's okay. After all, we all have our own lives. After saying that, the air in the car was completely cold. Yunyanin looked down and said nothing. I turned my head to the window and took a deep breath. Then you send me to the station. I want to go home. Now I want to go home and find my parents. Your old house was demolished early. I don't know where your parents moved to. Yunyanin squeezed his fist on his knee. He pretended to be calm. I asked someone to inquire about it. You wait for the news first. It was demolished. My heart sank to the bottom of the valley. The world was instantly dark. I was like a lonely boat floating on the sea. And the familiar and unfamiliar Yunyanin in front of me was the only one I could catch. How about this? Thank you. I heard my voice like a mosquito. You're welcome. Yunyanin's reply was polite and polite. This intimate conversation was like an invisible wall between us. No one could see through each other. The car was in a dead end again. I bowed my head all the way and bit my teeth stubbornly to keep my tears from falling. He's not my Yunyanin. He's like another person. Half an hour later, the car stopped at an old community. Although it looked dilapidated at night, I still recognized it at a glance. This is our wedding room back then. I looked up at Yunyanin. Do you still live here? He shook his head. It's close to the unit. I sometimes come here for lunch break. The water and electricity are connected. You live here first. I'll arrange a hotel for you if you don't mind. Oh, I heard a faint voice. He was flirting with me. It must be inconvenient at home. Let's go. Yunyanin picked up my luggage and walked ahead of me. I followed him up the stairs behind him. When I got to the 3rd floor, he took out the key and turned on the light. The room was clean and the furniture was the same. It's just a little old. The familiar environment made me nervous and a little relaxed. Come in. Yunyanin turned around and greeted me at the door. I walked in. I sat down on the sofa. Yunyanin put his luggage in the bedroom and turned on the light. Can you live in this room? I followed him and saw that was our master bedroom. After we got the certificate, we had been in this bed many times. I saw Yunyanin with a dull face. There was something unnatural. Okay, Yunyanin took his luggage into the room and took out the clean bedding from the closet. He said, I'll change it for you. No, I'll do it myself. I'm in a hurry. I'll do it myself. I'll do it. It won't take long. Yunyanin forcefully pressed the bed sheet back. He didn't let me take it away. I was embarrassed to fight with him. I had to let go. I only saw Yunyanin moving the bed in a hurry. I went to the kitchen to boil water and mop the floor again. I followed my brother behind. I saw that he was so familiar with cleaning. I had to embarrass myself and sit back on the sofa in case he would give me a hint. Yunyanin has really changed a lot. He used to be like a girl. He didn't care about any housework. Let him mop the floor. He can be pitiful and play around for a long time. I really can't help it. Xia, let's hire a mid-level worker, okay? No, how expensive is the mid-level worker? We just got married. We can't waste money. I will work hard to make money in the future. He was discussing with me. Let's hire one first. Let's talk about it after you make money. I held his ears and said, hurry up and mop the floor. Don't be lazy. Then Yunyan went to mop the floor. After mopping the floor, he came over and asked for a kiss and a hug. It was endless. I was so bored. I cleaned up the house in a hurry. I was upset. He is so capable now. Which man taught him? Yunyan cleaned up everything and poured me a cup of boiling water. Thank you. I took the water cup and drank it slowly. Yunyan didn't say a word and just stared at me. I was so uncomfortable. At this time, the sound of a gurgling broke the silence. My embarrassed eyeballs were about to fly out. Yunyan stood up from the sofa. Look at me. You must be hungry. I was a little embarrassed and nodded. Yes, a little. I went out to buy food. Wait a minute. Yunyan said he was going to change and get the key. The door was closed. The door was just closed. I haven't let go of my breath. The key was ringing again. Yunyan looked at half of his body and asked, I forgot to ask, what do you want to eat? Whatever. As long as it's edible. I don't choose. Think about those unlucky passengers. I don't know if anyone cares. Yunyan looked at me. He told me not to run around. I know. I nodded obediently. Don't go out. Yunyan was still worried and emphasized again. I know. I had to answer again. I thought he was going to leave. But he grabbed the door handle and kept looking at me. I couldn't help but ask, what's wrong? It's okay. Yunyan shook his head and looked at me deeply. I just closed the door and locked it outside for 2 laps.
I looked around what used to be my home. This was the apartment Yunyan and I bought after we got married. Back then, we had spent all our savings on the mortgage, leaving no money for renovations. We simply painted the walls ourselves and moved in. Later, every time he got paid, we'd slowly buy furniture and decorations until it finally felt like a real home. Despite being handsome and intelligent, Yunyan was absolutely terrible at anything practical. He'd spill the entire bucket while painting a wall and couldn't even replace a light bulb. I used to tease him all the time. So, what exactly are you good at? Whenever I said that, he'd cup his pretty face with both hands and pout adorably. I'm cute. And I can keep your bed warm. You're so annoying. I never could resist that expression. I'd always grab him and kiss him fiercely, and he'd simply let me do whatever I wanted, smiling softly with complete happiness and affection in his eyes. Every time we finished kissing, I'd completely forgive him for being utterly useless around the house. Thinking about those sweet memories, I couldn't help smiling, although, to me, those memories were only from 6 months ago. But the Yunyan standing before me now was completely different. Quiet, reserved, like an entirely different person.
I let out a quiet sigh. Just then, the door lock clicked. Yunyan walked in carrying a plastic takeout bag, breathing slightly harder than usual. His eyes met mine as he said softly, I bought it. Come eat. I walked over to the dining table and opened the takeout bag. Inside was the newest KFC grilled chicken meal, along with a grilled chicken burger. My heart skipped a beat. I looked up at him with trembling lips. Why did you buy this? 24 years ago, just before boarding the plane, I had texted him saying I was craving KFC. Could it be? After all these years, he still remembered. Without looking up, Yunyan quietly unpacked the food one item at a time. There happened to be a KFC downstairs, he said softly. So I bought some. Oh. I bit my lip. Of course. How could he possibly remember? For me, only a few hours had passed. But for him, 24 whole years had gone by. How could he still remember a text message from so long ago? I just wondered. Back then, did he actually buy the KFC? And wait for me at the station? Eat before it gets cold. Seeing me frozen in place, Yunyan gently pushed the box of egg tarts closer to me. I grabbed one and swallowed it in just 2 bites. Then I picked up the chicken leg and took huge bites. I knew that if I didn't keep eating, I'd start crying. So I forced every emotion back down along with the food. Slow down, Yunyan said quietly. I can't. It's too delicious. I haven't had this in a very long time. I forced myself to swallow. He didn't say another word. He simply watched me silently. His eyes gradually turned red. Then he suddenly looked away. After a long while, he turned back. His eyes were filled with longing and an indescribable sadness. After we finished eating, Yunyenin silently cleaned the table. Watching him move so skillfully felt strangely unfamiliar. I didn't know what to do. After finishing my milk, I could only rub my knees awkwardly. He noticed my little movement but lowered his eyes without saying anything. The room fell into another uncomfortable silence. I felt miserable. Before boarding that flight, all I could think about was rushing home to my lovely wife. Holding her in my arms. Making up for all the time we'd spent apart. But now. What was any of this? She might not even be my wife anymore. He was still the same person. Yet he looked so distant and serious that every romantic thought I had vanished. Unable to bear the silence any longer, I asked softly. "Aren't you going home?" Yunyenin looked up at me. Only then did I realize. This was his home. It sounded as though I was asking him to leave. I quickly laughed awkwardly and corrected myself. "I mean, how have you been all these years?" "I've been fine." His eyes remained fixed on mine. I nodded. "I figured you'd be doing well. You look like a successful man now. A pillar of society." I immediately regretted saying it. Why was I making such boring small talk with Yunyenin? Back then, we were never this formal with each other. He answered just as casually. "I've done, all right." Inside, I wanted to scream. Trying to break the awkward atmosphere, I picked up the TV remote and turned it on. After changing several channels, all I saw was a blue screen. No signal. "I didn't pay for cable," Yunyenin said as he walked out of the kitchen. "Oh." I turned the TV off. Once again, it hit me that he no longer lived here with me. Maybe he wasn't even my spouse anymore. After all, the world had already declared me dead. Seeing my expression darken, Yunyenin quickly took out his phone. People don't really watch TV anymore. Everyone uses their phones now. What's so fun about phones? I tried to sound cheerful. Games. It was always that simple. That had always been Yunyenin's favorite phrase. Back in middle school, he skipped a grade. Even though he was the youngest student in class, he always ranked first. I sat behind him and constantly asked him to explain problems I couldn't solve. He'd explain them in just a few sentences. Every time I'd exclaim, "So it was that easy?" He'd shrug with a smug smile. It was always that simple. Later, when he proposed to me, I told him I wasn't good enough for him. He simply smiled and said, "Why think so much? As long as I love you, that's enough." His mother never approved of me. But because he refused to give up on us, we still got married. Whenever I was with him, everything in life somehow became simple. All I ever had to do was stay by his side.